Okay, so beginning our day, a cultivation of mindfulness, clear awareness, clear comprehension. These are very nice words when you read them on the page of a book, and even when you think about them, really inspired about being mindful and clearly comprehending. And but this is we have to bring that into. There's a continuity of awareness and attention and application of the mind through the day, through sitting, standing, walking, lying down, the four postures, through the different aspects of our daily life, and so that all of a sudden, what was a somewhat clear concept in theory becomes a bit more elusive or a bit more difficult once we start trying to apply it, so that just paying attention to the practicality of our daily life, and then also realizing that one's mindfulness is applied to very practical things like the paint sprayer and who actually cleaned it. Did it get cleaned? Did it? And that's it's just is being attentive, and obviously in the midst of especially like a work project where a lot of people are working, then it's easy to sometimes forget things, but that's where it's helpful to. Everybody's making the effort to look out for the task at hand as well as looking out for each other. It's a part of applying and cultivating and practicing with mindfulness. And similarly with looking after things. The reality is once you get something, it starts to break down. It's like it wasn't that long ago we had this brand new kitchen and stuff starts to break. It's just is ordinary, and so one is looking after it and paying attention. These things everything is breakable, and trying to make things last. But then also when it does break or start to wear out, then put attention on how can this be fixed? How can it be looked after? And then also looking at it's not just sort of say oneself being mindful of something, but then also realizing we work together. How do we proximity of each other, and how do we attentive to not just what we're doing, but what are others doing, so that one isn't impinging on the space of others, or that one is if one is there with working with others, and you're paying attention to how to to work together and both accomplish the task, but then also make it into a mindful project. I mean, and it's really satisfying when you're doing something mindfully. The task is there. It's like there's a story of Tolstoy, who he was a sort of a kind of a noble class. He was a big landowner, but he didn't like to go out and work with the people on his land. And one day he was out working, harvesting corn and using a scythe and big blade and cutting. And he got into this groove of being really mindful and focused, and he got a lot accomplished. And end of the day, it was just really buzzing with energy and brightness. And I thought, wow, what was that? Of course, he spent many years after hundreds of acres of cutting down corn, trying to get back to that space. But but it is that sense of when you're doing something mindfully and attentively, it's enjoyable. It's not unenjoyable. There's so much. We tire ourselves out sometimes when we're either meditating or working. Just this inner commentary going on all the time, of grading yourself and grading others, and this is going on and on. So it's learning how to be present with the body, present with the mind, present with the situation that one's in, and learning how these things, our individual cultivation is not either in competition or in conflict with being with other people, and so it's a skill that we keep working on.